everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. How are you today? I have a project that I thought would be fun to do that's a little different. It will incorporate a journal, but it's not all about the journal. It's kind of what we're going to use to house the journal. But let me give you an idea of what we'll be doing, okay? First off, we are going to be using, this is the major component, one of these little tin things. This one's from Valentine's. I have Christmas ones, but you know, honestly, I bought these so that I could use them for something like this, because I don't normally, you know, they're cute the way they are, but we are basically going to be decorating this whole thing to house a little journal that we're going to make. And it's going to house this journal and any other little goodies that you might want to put in there, like candies or whatever. I'm actually making these. I'm going to make a total of 4 of them for some friends. I'm in the process of, now that I've made all my journals that I'm going to sell, I'm making things, you know, my gifts. And I thought I'd just bring you guys along with me. The journal is going to just consist of envelopes and bags and things that we have around the house. Or, you know, I kind of want to use some of the things I already have, some of the printouts I've already have, just get it out of here. Because, you know, honestly, we do all this stuff and we have all these scraps, so let's use them. Anyway, this is from the dollar store, so it cost $1. But it's not going to look like something that costs $1 when we're done with it. It's going to be in kind of the shabby chic-y look. I haven't done it yet. You're going to be kind of going, this is all in my head. You know how I do. Sometimes I just come up with an idea and I roll with it, and hopefully it works out. So you'll be along for the ride. The things that we're going to need for this, I am going to paint it with gesso. That is to make it a rougher texture, because we're going to be gluing things onto this and distressing it and stuff like that. And if you don't have a, you know, a rougher texture on there, it's not going to stick. So we're going to paint it with gesso, and then we're going to adhere things, and I'm using matte gel. You could use Mod Podge. I don't like Mod Podge as much as the matte gel, just because it's even the matte Mod Podge dries kind of shiny and sticky, and this doesn't. It costs a little bit more, this Liquitex, but I really like it, so that's what I use. And we may use some clear gesso when we're all done, just to kind of tone it down, but I may not even go through that, just because of the fact that it's just probably not, you know, worth it. The other thing that I'm going to use is this Stains by Patty Pockets. I love this stuff. I ordered 2 of these. I've already gone through 1, and I need to order more, but I really love this stuff. It actually, I think it has like a glue in it too, but I'm using it mainly to kind of distress everything. But I will be using that too. And you don't have to have that. You could definitely just use, you know, Vintage Photo or whatever to distress whatever you're doing. You need some masking tape. I'm going to be using that. On the inside of this, you will be needing some foam dots. I got these from the dollar store. I'm going to be using those because I like the size. You could definitely use smaller ones. Just use whatever you have. A lot of us paper crafters have all that. I'm going to be using some of this red line tape, just because it's easy and fast. But you could definitely use your 3-in-1 glue or whatever. I will be using that also, but for the paper parts, I'm probably going to use some of this. I have different papers that I'm going to be using. This is just some paper, the scrap piece of paper that I have, that I had in my stash. And I have no idea where I got this from. As you can see, I've already used it. And it's a pretty good weight. And then this is a collage, and I made it on my channel. And this is just obviously different text that I've used. And then I put it on some old paper. Something is glued onto the back of that. Anyway, but I'm going to use that too, in the spirit of using things. Probably, I got something else stuck to it. You know, going to use, I have some vintage music paper, dictionary page, some other pages. I'm probably going to cover the outside with just little pieces of this. And the reason I thought this is a great project is we're using your scraps that you already have, and you know, stuff you already have, probably lots of, and this way we'll have lots. And I'll probably use some doilies and things like that too. Definitely I'll be using lace all over it. So lace and trim and all that kind of goody stuff. But I think it'll turn out good. I'm trying to do it kind of in these beigey type colors like that. And it's going to make what we're doing on top kind of pop. And I hope it looks good that way. We shall see. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get started with this. Let's see here. I think the first thing, I'm going to move some of the stuff out of the way just so it's not visually cluttering. Okay, so this little tin, they sell them at Walmart. They sell them at the dollar store. They're not expensive. I guess people put cookies in them. I'm not a big baker. I mean, I try, but, you know, honestly, the problem is I have a sister that she's not crafty at all, which is interesting, but she loves to bake, and that's her art, you know, and I mean, it's an art for her. So it's like, I'm just not going to show up with my stuff when she's been doing her, 20 different types of cookies that are all fancy, and I don't do that. I'll make stuff for my kids, you know, but I don't put forth the effort because it never turns out the way that it should, I don't think. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to leave the bottom of this, leave all of the sides of this gold, okay? And then what I'm going to do is on the inside, I will be covering, I'll put something down here because we're going to cover this, okay? And I'm not sure whether I want to paint that or not. I might paint it because the stuff that I put in there I think will stick. Well, maybe not. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. We'll just see. I might paint the sides too. And we're going to be painting all of this, okay? And the tricky part is the top, okay? We're going to have to paint that, all right? So that will be the first thing you do so that can dry. And then, well, actually, you know what? That's not going to be the first thing. Let's cut out our pieces, then paint. It'll dry, and then we can do the next part. So let's do that. I told you, this is all in my head. So this is what you get when you watch my channel. I don't have time always to do a prototype. The prototype is all in my brain. Okay, so, and I hope it works out. I am going to trace around this piece. Oh, and I didn't show you the most important stuff you need. Gosh, guys, the pencil is not coming out. That did not work. Let me show you this other stuff. I completely forgot to show you this. Oh my gosh, here we go. This is important, okay? I am going to be using, I bought these a long time ago, and they're Anna Griffith 120 mini snow globe stickers, which I did not use. I bought the snow globe die, which apparently was a big thing, and I've only made like 2 snow globes. But it has all of these really, really cute, and they're not really stickers. They're just cutouts. And they have little people, and they're dimensional. I mean, this is perfect for what we're doing. And you're going to see me using these in a lot of different things. Now, I realize I looked out there and I could not find that she had these. I bought them off of HSN. You can go look if you want, but these are cool. If you, I mean, even for making tags and stuff. But not everybody has those. So I did want to point out some other options. If I can find them. Here we are. They're buried under here. Like I said, my brain is just going crazy with all of the things that I'm wanting to do. And I'm going to pop on whenever I can. And I'm like this every Christmas. Every Christmas I'm like this. Okay, let's get those out of the way. Just for instance, there are, I don't know if you can see these. These are all from My Porch Prints. And they're all cutouts. And they're little teeny tiny things. And these would work exactly the same as those. Now, granted, you have to cut them out. And I am going to use some of these incorporated in with the other one. But they're just really cute. And these would work exactly the same. This is, I don't remember who that was from. These would work too, okay? Just anything that has, like, that you would fussy cut out will work fantastic for this. The other thing is the Tim Holtz dolls and stuff. They would work really good. And then I had printed some other stuff in my cookbook. I don't remember who, but those would work really good. Just kind of, you know, look around and see. You don't have to have those Anna Griffith things. The other thing is I had bought this Norman Rockwell little book, and this works great for tags, but this would work great just as a standalone in the middle, and you pop it up. Would look really, really cute. The other thing that would look good, and we're going to do one like this. Hopefully I'll have time, or I'll do one and show you, is I have these. I bought these also from the Holiday Decoupage. And these are all these little cutouts, and they're supposed to be dimensional where they pop up a little bit. These would work great as a standalone thing right in the middle of it, and I may do one like that too. In fact, I'm going to, because I want to do that one where I put a napkin on the outside. The first part of it's all going to be the same, but it's just how we decorate it and what we come up with. So, because I have, like I said, several of these I need to do, and I better get cracking, right? Okay, so I put that in there too, because I may want to use that. Let me get that out of the way. I want you guys to be able to have a clear vision. So that was important. I forgot to tell you that. So you do have to have something that you want to put in here, because we're going to basically just do a scene or a focal, either the scene or a focal point or something that is going to be dimensional in here, kind of like a shaker card. And I guess if you wanted to, you could put stuff in there. That's a thought, right, guys? We could put little snow in there. That would be cool. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we will. Why don't you guys tell me what you think we should do? This is going to be a two-part thing, because we're definitely going to have to go 2 parts. I don't know what days I'm going to do this on. I am going to start filming ahead because I will be going on vacation. And I usually always film ahead rather than just, I try not to miss doing any. But, you know, it's hard, you know, because you got Christmas going and all that stuff, and you know how it is. If I don't do the Christmas stuff, it doesn't happen. So, although I did try and involve my husband a little bit, but the way that works is kind of funny, because he'll do stuff and then he'll ask me, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Just do it. Just do it. Pull the trigger." If I have to hold your hand, doesn't accomplish anything. So this is going to be what I put my scene on, okay? Just because I thought this would be too busy. And then this is, I'm also going to cut this out for the back. What scissors should I use? Maybe I'll just use my regular. These guys do it all. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because we're going to have a lot of lace and stuff. Like, thank goodness for lace. It covers things. But, yeah. So, and guys, this is just to house the journal, okay? The journal part's coming up. But I just thought this would be cool to, you know, put the little journal in there. And then I'm going to get some nice chocolates and put those in there. And I don't know. I'm thinking about one more thing. I'm going to make it a surprise. It'll be another video, but we're going to be making several things. Let's just put it that way. That will go inside this little box. Okay, so I love this paper. I have no idea where I got it, but I've had it for a really long time. So, okay, so now I am going to use this as my pattern, and I need to cut 2 of these out. Okay, so I don't remember what my pattern was on the other side of it. White. Yeah, this was covering up our ugly paper, and you know, I have got to start using this stuff. You know how I finished some of my journals and I just had a flip through, if you guys have watched my channel. I just sat there and I looked and I went, oh my gosh, I finished that journal and I never did the flip through. And I mean, you know, it had like a few finishing things I needed to do on it. And I'm like, well, I have got to get to the point where I'm actually, you know, actually we could, oh, I bet you I'm not going to have enough to do 2. I have another one of these. So I may do that. Okay, I'm going to put this aside because we can cut that out in a minute. Meantime, let me get some of my paper over here because this is going to make a mess. In the meantime, I don't need one that big. Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and paint this because it has to dry. And I'm not going to, let's see what paintbrush. I'll just use this one, will work. All right, so I am going to take some tape. I'm going to do my best to get it on the lines here. And we will have to kind of go around the corners a little bit, but that's okay. If you can kind of line it up and just go a little bit, and if it's not perfect, that's okay too, you guys, because, well, it would have been better if I did it the right size. If you don't get it in there perfect, it's okay. We're going to be putting lace and all kinds of stuff around it, so that will hide imperfection. Okay, so I'm going right up to the edge, right there, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Cut that. If I had my little credit card thingy, I can use that. Let's get it right up to the edge. There we go. And then we'll come in and cut that off in a minute. And you just basically want to cover the whole thing just because, do this side. I'm just going to use my little card to cut it. Get it right to the edge. I might have done that too short. It's hard to do it this way, like this, if you cut it too short. There we go. So anyway, I hope everybody is having a good day, and I'll tell you one thing. We're planning on visiting my son, gosh, at Christmas time in Colorado, and I mean, hopefully we're making plans very late. But my middle son's going to come, and his girlfriend, and my other son's going to stay behind and watch the dogs and do whatever because he can't get off. which is really sad, but oh well. My oldest son is the one that works at the big testing lab. It's one of the biggest labs in the nation, for the, I don't want to say the word so I don't get censored, but for you know what. And the thing about it is that he has been working nonstop. I mean nonstop, crazy hours since March. And it would be nice for him to get off for a few days, but he can't. He can't be gone more than 2 days. So, okay, so, but the cool thing is I'm not doing any decorating around my house. I mean, really nothing, because we're not going to be here. Now, if I have little kids, you know, grandkids or something, then I would probably do that. Just take your knife. This is so easy to do, guys, because it has a lip on it, or a little lip. You just go in that little lip. Okay. Comes right off. And the only reason we're gessoing this is that it's kind of slick, and if you don't do that, things won't stick very well. And that way too, if you don't get every little piece, it'll have this gesso behind it. But this is super easy, not hard. Not hard. And this is just plain old painter's tape. I mean, I guess you could use masking tape. You could probably even use washi. But you've got some washi you don't like. You could probably even use paper and then just tape a little bit around it. Okay, so that is done. That's all you have to do on that, right? And then this part, you want to take it apart because we're going to paint all of that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside because we are going to cover it with stuff, but I want to make sure that it's covered well, so, and things will stick is what I'm worried about, things sticking. Okay, so now we're just going to very haphazardly, I'm going to paint this first, and I'm just going to take my gesso and go right over it. And even if something gets on there for some reason, you can get it off. It's not that big a deal. And you don't need perfect coverage on this, guys, but you are trying to get it on there enough to where it has a rough surface, because you're trying to, you know, give it some bite. Now, you could sand this also. I don't think we're going to need to, but because gesso will stick. The other thing that you can use if you do not have gesso is chalk paint. It will work basically the same. So I use these little canisters to store a lot of my Christmas stuff. I have a bunch of Christmas ones. And some of them are pretty cute, but it's really good because I can see inside them. And so I have a lot of these in my little Christmas stash, but I purposely bought these Valentine's ones on Valentine's time so that I could do something like this. And actually, I mean, you could make these for any type of gift. It doesn't have to be Christmas. In fact, the one we're doing, other than the scene we're going to put in here, it could easily be neutral enough to where you could use it any time. So I'm just kind of going over any spots that I kind of missed. And you could let that dry and do another coat. It's up to you. I'm going to put this aside. Okay, let's see. So you are going to go, let's see, right over. Find a spot for you that will dry. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one. Now on the lip part here, make sure you get that maybe a couple times because we want to make sure that's completely covered, because we're not going to put any kind of paper or anything on there, because we have to have it be able to close, but we are going to kind of stain it later. So, and I'm going right over the white, just because, or I mean the gold in there, because later on, it's going to all be covered up. So I'm going to do all of that. And I'll probably do 2 coats on this, but I'm not going to have y'all watch. I'll probably stop the video, let it dry. Just so that you can see how I'm doing it. And the best way to do this, if you're going to do multiple coats, is do a thin coat and then come back over it, okay? Now, the one thing about chalk paint is it covers better, and I may just do a top coat of chalk paint. I haven't decided yet, because I do have some. I have tons of chalk paint. I bought this. I remember I showed you guys this was at Tuesday Morning for $1.99, and it has 2 different colors of gold in it, and it's distressed gold. And I may use this on here too. I don't know yet. I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I also have some white chalk paint that I may go ahead and use. But the good thing about the gesso is it grabs really well. Chalk paint does too, though. It really does. They have similar properties, so use what you have. I mean, you could even use house paint if you have some. I mean, it would work. It might even work better depending on the kind you have. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead. I probably should have done the inside earlier, but I'm going to do this inside area just a little bit, just because I want stuff to stick to it. Okay, I'm not doing it for any other reason, and it doesn't matter if it gets all over. Really does not matter. You can do it messy. Just go in there and do that, because honestly, you will not be able to see any of this later. Okay, it's going to all be covered up. This is just so that we have some bite to this. Okay. Now the outside where the red is over there, you may want to do another coat of that, okay? Just because, just in case you can see through it a little bit, but I don't even know if that's necessary. By the time we're done with this, you won't even be able to see anything. It will be covered from top to bottom. You don't need to do the bottom because we're going to cover that, okay? Just the sides. And like I said, this is only so that it has some bite. Things will stick to it a lot better if it has something on it. And you can see how messy I'm doing this. Probably would have been better to do the sides first, I think. You know, but anyway. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let this dry, and I will be right back, okay? Okay, so I'm back, and this is mostly dry. It's not 100% dry. I did decide to go over it with some chalk paint just because it goes on a little bit thicker. Definitely the gesso would work. It has a lot of bite to it. I still would use it as the base coat if you have it. If not, just use the chalk paint or use house paint. But it doesn't have to cover perfect, guys. That's not what we're going for. We're just doing for some basic coverage on this because there's going to be a lot of layers to it and you're not going to see much of anything underneath. Now I'm going to take this Stains by Patty Pockets and I'm going to use it over here. I have this little tiny brush that actually, these were $1.99. They were great, a great little buy. It comes with 2 little things of chalk paint. I don't even know if they have them anymore there, but I didn't buy it that long ago. And I'm just going to take this and go over this. And I figure it'll do 2 things. It'll kind of be like a little bit of a sealer, and it'll distress my paint underneath a little bit. And we're going to be putting stuff on top of it also, so it should all work out. And it's kind of bubbling up a little bit, and that's why kind of the gesso works a little bit better, but that's okay. This will probably work. I haven't tried it on this, but I think it should work. We shall see. Of course, you could just put some vintage photo on there and then put some matte finish on it. But like I said, this stuff has kind of it kind of glues things down too. So I thought it would probably work as a little bit of a sealer. It'd be like a 2-in-1, which I think it will do. And then I'm going to put it all around here, and I am probably again going to turn the video off and let this dry, but we're going to go on to the next part, just because I think I want to get as much done as I can in this whole series so that we can fit everything in. And I am not trying to get a perfect, you know, like here there's some chipped or whatever. We're going to be using, and I didn't tell you this earlier, just some Rub and Buff or any type of gold paint or something on this also. So it will kind of mask some of any of the little chipping or anything like that happens. But I'm not going to do that until later, toward the end. Or, well, actually before we put our lace and stuff on it, but after it's all painted. Okay, so that is that. If you want to go back over it, it does not matter if it's on there messy, because we're covering up 90% of it. You will not see it. This is just like the stuff that will peek between. You just don't want the little Valentines or even your Christmas or whatever, that scene peeking. Now you may want to. There may be some cute Christmas ones where you just want to leave it the way it is, but we're kind of going to go shabby vintage on this, and that wouldn't work with our look. So anyway, it will probably stick pretty well. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with that, and I'm going to let that dry. Put this off to the side. I'm running out of places to put things. Guess I'll put it up here. And I'm going to let that dry, and we'll go on to the next part in a minute. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we'll go on to the next little part that we're going to do. Wipe my hands off a little bit sticky. But it does have a bit of a stickiness to it. So if you want to use it to adhere things, I think it's good. All right, anyway, so remember we had our pieces here, and I don't have two that will be big enough to put in there. That's just a tiny bit off. Yeah, but I do have another piece of this, so I'll use that. Anyway, I'm using this as a pattern, and where's my other scissors? I think I'd rather use those. Here they are. Just because it's kind of neutral, and we are going to be covering a lot of things up, but it'll be good to be like in the background. And I need something that's fairly stiff, okay, that's fairly thick. And this is, so that will help us. Okay, and then I'm going to cut one more of these to go in the bottom. And again, we will be covering a lot of this up, but the parts that show through, you want it to look nice. Okay, so then I'm going to do one more. I have another one right here. It's a little different, but not much. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out. And the good thing about this is pretty stiff. Let me use this purple pen so I can see it better. So it will work for our purposes. And I may have to trim it a little bit, but that's okay. We want it to be reasonably thick. So you want to, you know, I wouldn't say chipboard, but maybe you could use some like a cereal box or something like that. It'd be about that weight, because you do want it to hold up. Okay, there we go. Cut off those sides. Okay, so we have two. It doesn't really matter which goes where. I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. And this is going to be where we do our scene, and then we'll have this kind of glued on, okay? And what we'll do with that is we'll put our scene here, and then we will have this. This is what will show on the other side. We have to mount some foam dots in there also, okay? Because that's going to actually, we'll put that in the cover, and then first we're going to put our scene on here. So, and then this one will go on the bottom, or either this one could, it wouldn't make any difference really. But this is where we're going to put our scene. So let's go ahead and do that. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Got way too much stuff on my desk. So I haven't even decided what I'm going to do, which is probably not good. But I know that they have a lot of cute things in here. So now realize you've got a little lip on your thing. In fact, let me get another one out so I can kind of measure. See, this will go, the other one's drawing, so this is going to go in here, which is going to actually have to be cut down quite a bit, actually. Huh. So, let me see. I'm going to try and put that to where it... Now, the top's going to be different than the bottom, so don't mess with the bottom. It would be good if I had it on there straight. Let's see. This side's probably even. This should get me close to where I need to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, because honestly, guys, we're going to be covering a lot of this up with lace and stuff, so... In fact, if it's a little small, that's fine. All right, I'm hoping this fits better now. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to cut one of these out to fit there. And I think I'll just do this one. I don't know, they're both pretty much the same. What does it matter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out to match. That way we already have that part done. Yep, this is crafting on the fly, guys. This is all in my head. So most of the time things work out. Sometimes they don't. And but even when they don't, there's always a fix. You can always fix it. And most of the time, when I'm trying to fix something, it ends up better than what I had thought. Okay. So this should fit in there too. Good. Okay, good. Alrighty then. Let's put our scene on here. And I put this just because it's kind of a neutral background. You could certainly put anything anything you want. You could even use one of these. This would be kind of cool. I just thought this is a little too busy. This is a little bit more neutral. You could use papers you had. You could use a scene you had. But I am kind of going neutral. So, see, that could be in the background. I do need to kind of look at this to see what is gonna. It's okay if it's off to the side a little bit. Not a big deal. Anyway, it has all these cute little figures. I don't think we want two houses. And I am very lucky to have this. When I saw it, I snagged it because I thought, oh wow, I could see so many applications for that. You know, tags, whatever. Maybe I like this one better. And then I'm going really fast on this, so you guys do it the way that you think you want to do it. So I'd really like something in front over here. Maybe on this side. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Does it? Does it? Does it? Okay, so this has to go there. And maybe, I don't want just trees, so I do need more trees. Put a couple back there. Need something over here. And honestly, you could do the exact same thing with just taking, okay, that works. Yeah, I think I like that. And then they can go there, and that can go there. I don't want it too overcrowded, but I do want, let me see if I can, I might have to put a different, or if that would be too big. Put it over here. Put them over here. Yeah, I could have done all this before I got you guys involved, but okay, I'm going to just do that, and it'll work for now for our purposes, I think. And I'm going to take all this. Of course, I could have fiddled with this for hours. You know, I really could have. Would not have bothered me. And honestly, the fussy cuts from my Porch Prints would work just like this. And if you want it dimensional, all you would do is cut two of the same thing and put some little foam dots in between and cut out pieces of it. Because if you look at these, the whole thing, like this has the whole thing where they've just put some puffy dots in between. But on some of these, what you'll see, like this one, they cut out portions of it, like just this little boy, and then this is flat, and that's to give it dimension. And you could easily do that with anything that you cut out. I happen to have these, and it makes it easy. And they're really cute on tags and things like that too. So I did download that My Porch Prints, and the only reason it was very daunting because it's hard to fussy cut all those. But my husband had asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told him that I wanted a scan and cut, and I got one of the DX 125, I think it's called, and it works really well. And so I used that. It helped me a lot. I don't know if I want to put. All right, let's go ahead and glue these down and get our little diorama thing going on. Where's my glue? I'm hoping our little tin dried in between. I'm going to have to remember where I put everything. Okay, that is going here. Or maybe I'll put this up here. I don't know. I don't know, people. I think I'm going to keep it the way it was because this can get complicated. And I am just using my art glitter glue. To glue this all down because it works well on paper. And it does not matter if it goes off to the side a little bit. It won't matter, but I kind of want it, most of it in the scene. I'm going to put that down. So you want to put your flat pieces down first. And then you want to I don't know, I may not put that deer in there. It's kind of bugging me. It's like it needs to be close, like the deer needs to be here, you know? I mean, that's the only way I think. The deer, I don't know, maybe the deer just won't go in this scene, right? I think that's the problem. The deer was kind of bugging me. Oh, it's got to go the other way, or they're not throwing at each other. And I want that toward the middle. And then this is going to go here. And then that. I have to find a different tree that doesn't have the deer. I like the deer, I do, but it somehow doesn't belong there. It just doesn't seem right. Like the deer would just be standing there in the middle of the, right? Let's see what else we got. Oh, come on, people. You know when you're looking for something, you can never find what you want. Maybe that. I don't know. I could cut the deer off. I've already glued that other piece down, so I have to be careful what I put. I think I'm just going to put that. I think that'll work. Although I do kind of want something dimensional over there, so I may put that there. And then put that here. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to think too much. If I think too much, then it won't work. Oh, gosh. I do have this one too, but it's kind of too big. Yeah, I have to use the other one. Okay. So you guys get off. You're going to go. Should I put that down there? These guys could go here. Looks like they're on top of the trees. Put that up there. I might be just trying to be put too much in there is what I think is going on here. Might be just too much. All right, I'm going to go for it because you guys are getting tired of waiting. And I know you have your opinion and you'll tell me, so that's fine. Like I said, it's crafting on the fly, so. Alrighty. So I will do that. And then now you could have done like a blue scene, you know, with snow and whatever, But I thought about that, but I thought, you know, I really don't want to do that for one reason. I just kind of want it to be more of a neutral background with just this stuff in there. So, okay, so now we're going to put the stars of the show, and they're going to go right here. I want to make sure I get all those guys in there. Okay, so you're going to go right there. I think they're going to go right there before it dries. Make sure that that's about right. Good, okay. And all good down. It's one thing about art glitter glue, it works really well. And these guys are going to be right there. Okay. All right. So, make sure that's the right spot. Actually, I want these over here a little bit more. Yeah, okay, I think that's good. And then we will put these trees over here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I am not sure. This is a bigger tree. I might do that. Or maybe I do that, and I do that. Yeah, I think that looks better. Looks better. Okay. Not that there's any major difference either way. Probably would have looked just fine. I don't want it on top of them. And I don't want it to cover that completely. But this is a fun little thing, and it'll make a special little gift box. I mean, you could use this just for a gift box. You don't have to do, you know, the journal and all that, but, you know, since that's what we do. Okay, so that's how it's going to look inside, okay? Which I think will be really cool. By the time you add everything else to it, it'll be really neat. Okay, so then what we're going to do, let's see what our time looks like. Oh, we don't have much time left. Okay, let's see if this is dry yet. It is not dry. I am going to turn the camera off and dry this so we can get to the next step. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back. And our pieces are pretty much dry. I did a few extra things that I thought you guys... I put a little bit of Nuvo drops just in the snowy areas right here and a little bit on the trees. I didn't do it all over. I just did it in a few spots just to kind of give it a little extra dimension. Then what I did is I went ahead and put 2 layers of these foam things on there. If you had the, here, I took the tape off the first layer and then went ahead and did another layer and just outlined the entire tin top. Then the next thing I did is I just took some alcohol and I put a little bit on there and cleaned off this top to make sure, you know, we've been handling it and everything, it was clean. We could go ahead and take our tape off here. That way we could see if there's any problems. Should come off pretty easy. Yeah, see, we got a little bit of residue right there, but that's on the outside. That's from the Polly Pocket, so take that off. And that's okay. See how that took that off? That's going to all have lace and stuff over it. So I'm just going to take my alcohol a little bit and go like that. Just a tiny bit. And that should wipe all that off. Yeah, it's coming off good. And then that way I can kind of tell, you know, what I have on the inside that I need to clean before you seal it, because once you seal it, you can't do that. Okay. It's kind of hard because I've got little flakes of white on my surface, and what's happening is every time I lay it down, more stuff is getting on top. Okay, let me get the inside again. You know how it is, like cleaning a window. What is on the outside? Okay. Well, not perfect, but let me do it again. I think most of this is on the outside, not on the inside. Yeah. I'm not too worried about the outside because we'll be handling this a little bit more. We'll make sure we get it off when we can, though, so it doesn't dry. Yeah, that's a little dry. I'll have to kind of get that off later. I think part of the Polly Pockets seeped through the tape. Alcohol does a pretty good job, though, and it'll take it off. You don't want to probably use a scrubby or anything on this, because then that will scratch it. I mean, it's not glass, but you know. Okay, well, I'll work on the outside a little bit more later because it's going to get stuff on it again. So just make sure your inside is pretty clean. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is, you know, two, depending on your foam, and you can buy foam different depths. I'm going to take some of my red line tape, and I am just going to, and you could use any kind, or you could use glue. I don't want to use glue because I don't want to take the chance of the glue dripping. Oh, come on. And I'm just going around the edge here. I don't think I need to go on the inside. I think this will be good enough, because the other stuff has sticky on it too. And if you wanted to on the outer edge, you could definitely use glue. I just don't want to take the chance of the glue dripping onto the surface, because I think it probably would, or could, you know, to get it in there. You want to make sure you have a good seal, because you don't want the glitter and everything to get in like the corners back here, because then it'll all go in one spot and you won't have any. Okay. Then I'm just going to lift up the outer thing, which is easier said than done. And there's a few spots I'm going to put more tape on in just a second. And this stuff sticks really well. You could use double-sided tape also. I just have it, so I'm trying to use things I have. This is just a rather strong adhesive. But there's a lot of really good double-sided tape too. Okay, I'm gonna just do a few more pieces, just so that I know that the corners are sealed off good. I'm putting that on top, just as an extra measure. And then we will get to the next stage, which really honestly is this kind of decoupaging the box, which I'm going to start it and then you guys finish it, and then we'll be ready for the second part of this little series. Okay, so now I have lots of tape all the way around, so it's nice and sealed. And it doesn't matter which direction I put this in because it'll work. So I'm just going to put it in there, and if it doesn't match up perfectly, that's fine, because guess what? It's going to, we're going to have, I don't know where that came from. It's going to be covered. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. Oh, shoot. Hopefully that's not down. I completely forgot, guys. The whole reason. Oh gosh, I hope I can get that up. Oh, I just need a corner. Please, please, please. Let's see, that won't work. Let me try this one. Okay, I think I got it in that corner. Yeah, I forgot to put our stuff in there. I'm only going to take a little corner off to put it in. I am going to use this shaved ice and a little bit of this glass glitter, and I'm going to put that in there. And you would do that before you seal it, but I completely forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it in there, and hopefully it works out. Okay, it's just going to go in through there, and just a little bit of this, not a ton. Yeah, I'm having to put it in this way because I may have to put more tape on here where I picked it up. Okay, let's see how much oh, I just spilled all that. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Is that too much? Might be too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a little out. The problem is it settles, and then once it settles, you're not going to have as much. I'm going to take a little out. Just a little. All right, now that's probably that right there. Normally you would do that before you seal it, but I forgot. So we're just going to have a little in there at the bottom and enough to shake around. So anyway, don't do as I do because I dropped all this. So now I have to figure out how to get it all up. This stuff is not that cheap, but it's really cool. It's basically shards of glass, and I use this for different projects. And it works really good in these cards. So, and then this shaved ice is really cool. It's very lightweight, so I'm going to have to pick that up in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and seal this up again. And I think the part that I put down, I'll see if it'll stick. It looks like it's sticking. Okay, good. Good, good, good. See, I told you there's always a fix. But before you put this on, you would normally put that in there. I just completely forgot. I'm trying to hurry so we can get all of our parts in. But anyway, that's pretty much our card, okay? The top of it. So we've done basically a shaker card, and that will go on top of the box, okay? Which is really cool. With our scene. And then, I'm trying very hard not to get this everywhere, which I've already kind of made a huge mess. But anyway, the next thing, let me open this up. It fits tight because when we painted it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your top part, this here, and then you're gonna go ahead and glue that on, okay? Just glue it on with your art glitter glue. Put your bottom part in, and I would use hot glue, or I think fabric tack and 3-in-1 would work, but I know hot glue would work, so I would probably use hot glue. On this, you can use art glitter glue, fabric tack, or whatever, okay? So that's your next step, okay? Then after that, what you want to do is basically just take your papers, all of your papers that you want to put on the side, and you're going to just cover this, and you're basically just collaging all the way around it. I am going to be using, here I'll start it, and then you can see. I am just going to be using this matte medium, and I am just going to take it and go all the way around. Just take pieces, and I probably don't want squared off pieces, but that's okay. It works good for the bottom, but just make sure they're on there pretty good. Don't go over this lip part right here if you can help it, this part right here, because if you do, you won't be able to get your box on and off. So you're going to do that all the way around, and get it on there good, and go and just take, and don't just do the same print. Like here I just did that, and this is another dictionary page, but it's a different color and different print. And so I may, where did I go? I may want to go ahead and put that there, or that way. And we're going to actually be covering a lot of this up later, but you will see portions of it. So, and then, you know, just cut that off there, or rip it off, or do whatever. And you can come back later and go over that if you want to. Get some music paper. I know I had some in here somewhere. You know, it's hiding when you need it, right? Oh, come on. I know I have tons. Tons. Here's some right here. So you just take your papers and just keep going all the way around it. And you not only want to stick it down, but you want to make sure you do a top coat. And see, all of this that you did, honestly, we're covering most of it up. But if you have gaps, the cool thing is that it's covered. You know, you don't have to worry about it. And you do have to kind of put the chalk paint or gesso down, or things won't stick to the metal. So you're going to have to do that part anyway, even though you're going to cover it up. And the reason I use the Polly Pockets is simply because I needed to put a sealer on here, okay? Some sort of a sealer. And I had it handy, and it works. And if parts of your stuff does not get covered, then what happens is then you've got, see, like right here, I'm not going to worry about covering that teeny tiny corner. I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go all the way around, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to cover the whole thing, okay? You're going to do, now you don't need to do the bottom, and you do need to do the sides, and I would do the sides before you glue this down, okay? Get that out of there, if it'll come out. I would do all of the sides, okay, and then glue this down, okay? And this you can go ahead and glue down. The top, don't worry about, because we're going to basically be putting lace and things up here, okay? So you won't even honestly, you won't even see that, okay? This will be completely covered, okay? And you want to make sure when you put this on, because you don't want to cover anything on the inside lip, because you have to be able to put the top on, okay? So anyway, your homework is to go ahead and cover this, and don't worry about the top. Do the sides, and then put this on the inside, and then this you can glue on the back. You go ahead and glue that on the back, okay? This just goes right on top, and you can use art glitter glue or whatever for that. It doesn't matter. And don't worry if it doesn't fit absolutely perfect. We're still going to kind of put a little bit of lace up here. We can't put too much because you have to have enough of a lip there that it fits in there. But we'll fix it up. It'll be cute, I promise. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. And so go ahead and cover your box if you're crafting along with me. When I get back, I'll have all that part done. And also too, what I'm going to do is after I cover it, I'm going to go ahead and go over it again with the Polly Pockets. And mainly, you know, it gives it a good patina, but it also acts as a sealer, okay? So you could use something else. You could use Mod Podge, you could use, and if I were using Mod Podge and I wanted to seal it, if you don't have the Polly Pockets, and this is what I used to do before I had it, and I probably will still use it because, you know, I'm going through that stuff like water, is just take a little bit of your distressed re-inker or whatever, put a few drops in there, or a drop. A lot of times it doesn't take much, and just mix up a little, just mix what you're going to use at the time, and then just use that as a sealer. It works really well, really well. It gives it a little stain, and then also it'll act as a sealer. So do that all over, and then, you know, we're going to be putting lace and all that kind of stuff on it too. So you'll still see some of this through here, but not all of it. And it'll be really cool, I promise. And when we get that part done, then we'll work on the stuff that's going to go on the inside. Those are like a continuation, but not exactly. Because you could do all of them separately on their own, and they can be a present, or you can pile them into the box. Either way. All right, y'all, take care, and I'll be back again. And I don't know what my schedule as far as videos is going to be. It's going to be whenever I have time. I know I was trying to do the Tuesday, Thursday, and then Fun Friday deal, but I'm just going to pop on when I can. So just, you know, hit the subscription box and hit the bell so that you're notified when videos come out. And I will do what I can. I can't, it's hard for me to commit right now because, you know, everybody's busy right now. So, okay, we'll see you.